Okay, folks, thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm going to be doing sort of a little bit of demonstration about Shrinky Dinks. I'm going to show you a little kit that I bought, and my thought was I would shrink something from this kit, but I realize I don't really need to do that. What I'm going to do is show you this little kit and then talk to you about doing projects and then just doing a project, because this item that I'm going to show you is a kit that I purchased from Julie Haymakers, and this is called Leaf Love. And it comes with everything you need except for, if you want to use molds, which you don't have to, but it's very helpful, a heat gun, a fluted spacer bead, and jewelry pliers. I'll show you all that in a second, and some colored pencils. She supplies everything else. And the fluted spacer bead, I'm not exactly sure what that is. I'll have to double check in her video, but it doesn't really matter so much as just to tell you that it's minimal what you're going to have to supply to use this. This is what comes in the kit. There are, of course, enough to make 2 earrings, and all the little beads that go with it. In fact, there's one extra. And this is the little chain that the beads hang down from. She sends some little pastel chalks, a little foam brush, like it's an eyeshadow brush, to use to color, and then all the hardware that's needed for the actual dangles. And so these are super easy earrings to do, and they teach you a lot about how to go about using these shrink plastics. People call it Shrinky Dink, but that's actually the name of a particular brand. So shrink plastic is probably the better generic. And I'm going to use this to just demonstrate something, and then I'm going to go on and show you something else that we're going to work on. This, I believe that you can see that this has a matte side and a shiny side. You can see it reflecting the lights overhead when I hold it, yeah, like that. And I have never worked on the shiny side, so I don't really know what effect that does. She has a ton of videos, and they're all very helpful. They're geared a lot towards her kits, which makes sense, but also she has just some other things to show. But she is just a delightful teacher. I don't know her personally. I've never met her. I bought this product, and I'm always like to share people that are craftspeople that I enjoy and that I enjoy their crafts, because that's my goal above all, is to help my viewers learn a craft they might enjoy and then dig deeper elsewhere. And so there's tons of stuff. We're so wonderfully supplied on YouTube, but many other places as well. There are other venues. But this is her little kit. It all comes with everything that you need. I think this is a terrific way to learn how to do something that might be more complicated than you would want to try to start out. Now, she has you buy these, which I don't know whether she makes them or whether she buys them somewhere. But these are basically silicone molds, and when you press down on them, while the shrink plastic is hot, it inverts them, and different sizes of the cut shrink material will make different sizes of I keep showing it to that, like you can see that. I've got a video thing in front of me so I can make sure it's filming. But they, when you put them in, it will cause it to, when it actually gets done, and I'll show you that in a second, then you can take this, and there is another deeper press item to do. But you press that down, hold it for a few seconds, and then that keeps you from burning your fingers trying to manipulate this on your own. So I got this because I thought it was well worth it. I've burned my fingers many times. And so I thought this would be helpful. And I actually bought 2 different kinds. They're both the same size. They won't handle great big pieces, although pretty big, or super small pieces, or it's kind of redundant because you can't make them that big. But this just seemed like a good way for me to learn how to use these. And this causes a little petal shape that I think you can see that there is how it's, let's see if I can get it over here. You can see that it's wavy, just like this. So it fits into those little grooves, and this presses it in, and so you end up with this flat piece, but it's got a little bit of fluting to it, which is really cute. Now, you don't have to do any of that. I mean, you would want to have some way to shape the beads that you would make from something like her kit, but you could do that in a variety of other ways that would just be a little more complicated. But in terms of just doing the basics, doing a leaf, doing a flat fluted piece here rather than this round little bauble, which would be cute too, you can do all of that without having to buy other supplies. Or you can, like I say, you can figure out ways to do your own molding, so to speak. For example, this is just a wood ball. It's like 1.5 inches, maybe 1 5/8 inches. And it can be used when you have a piece like this. You can take a tool, any kind of pointed tool that isn't going to get in the way of your heat. You can heat that, and it would make a curve, okay, naturally on its own. And you could take, if you have a heated, like if you have a mitten glove, if you have some kind of glove that you use for other things that do heat, or if you have even a piece of the matting that you use like in a silhouette, in a press to press your t-shirts. If you have something like that, you could cut a small piece and use it, to press down, just recognizing that this stuff gets really hot. It's only hot for a second, but it's certainly hot enough to burn pretty bad. So you could do something like that. You could even make another little clay piece that would press down over this and push down. So, and you can do the same with this. You could take this, you could put your piece on top. This would make a much more curved sides. It would curve them down. And if you had if you took some air dry clay and just made a little sleeve that would fit down over that for a second, that would also do the same thing and make it work. All that said, that's just to say, if you wanted to do this kit without any of that, you can. I would recommend, though, if you're going to do something this involved, if you're going to actually try to make a nice little earring set, and you have an interest in doing more with shrink plastic, especially in terms of jewelry or making beads or anything like that, then I sure recommend buying at least perhaps this little one, if not both. To be honest, I use this one the most because I like to make these little sort of flower lantern type shapes. Okay, so I just enjoy doing that as an option. That, or I am typically just doing something flat, you know, like this, for example. So in those cases, all I need is, which is another thing that she puts in the kit whenever you buy certain things from her, like this earring kit and other things. You can also buy this kit, which this is just a block of wood, but it's nice to have everything put together for you. Like this, having all the jewelry findings, everything, the pattern, the color. You don't have to go out and buy anything else to experiment. So that's really nice. But this little thing, it may be kind of wobbly when it's first done, and then if you lay this on it for just a second or two, gives it a second to dry hard in place, and then you've got a flat object. So that's what that's all about. So that, I just wanted to show you this little thing. Her YouTube channel is listed in my instructions. I'm sorry, my description material, so that you can actually find her. She has lots of kits, and they all look really fun to me. So I just wanted to share this with you. Her website is Julie, Julie, haymaker.com. You should be able to see it right there, but I will also put that information in the description. And again, as I said before and say often on my channel, I get nothing for doing this. This is simply me sharing with you because I want you to find people who are already good at what they do, to learn how to do something that you think you might enjoy, that you might have a passion for, and learn from someone who's really good at it. So I mean that's their focus. Now, all that said, I am going to let me just show you. I can do this one little thing without disrupting anything. Her little bead, the little floral thing that she's got here. You could do more. You could put little dots and stuff on it too, but I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to take a little bit. You see how little that is? I'm just going to take that much, and I'm just going to spread it around. Maybe I need to take a little bit more. Chalk pastels are a little different. I don't want this to be super dark. I love that color. I'm just trying to get it. It's darker on the edges, which I like. I think that gives it a nice highlight. Okay. And, I did it on the shiny side. No worries. I could leave it that way, but then the outside of it would be dry, and I don't want that. So let me clean that one off. This is why I like this kind of project. You're not going to screw anything up real bad either way you do it. Let me just get it off there. And I'll let that little wipe just sorry, nothing like seeing me clean up a mistake, but I suppose that's a learning thing too. Let me take the other one. Check your side to see whether or not you have the shiny side up or the rough side. And now I have the rough side up, and you'll see it doesn't take nearly as much of the color. So now you can barely see that in this light, but you'll be able to see it as I do this. And see how it grabs the color way better. And if I wanted, I could add some little dots or something, but this is going to be so tiny, I don't think it's worth the time. And let me go ahead and show you what that looks like whenever I do this. This will just be a quick show. And I'm going to move all this stuff back because this does blow around like crazy. And I don't want it to just go flying everywhere. So I'm going to put a little something over it to keep it from being blown around. Okay, so I'm just getting all this back out of the way. I'm going to put that right there. That will be enough. Okay, it doesn't take very long for something this small. So I use this most of the time. A little needle thing is handy as well, but this is what I use. And you're going to put, let me show you again. You want to put the shiny side that doesn't have color on it, you want to put it down, and you're going to bend it in so that the area that has the color is actually going to be to the inside once this little thing is made. Now this will go real fast. See how quick that is? And your trick is to be sure that when they're especially this small, it's going to go in there pretty good. Okay, now see, now that it's going to expand, that's as far as it can shrink down. It's not moving anymore. I hope that you were able to see that. It's not moving anymore. And so now I can take this little top, while it's still hot, push it down, and you're just going to hold it. This takes like a couple of seconds, really. She counts to 5, which is smart. That gives it time. Okay. Turn it over. And there you have this tiny, 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 tiny little bead. I hope you can see that well enough. Isn't that tiny? I could have put a color around the edge if I wanted, but I didn't want to. But see, isn't that pretty? And that's just a pastel chalk making that color. And I haven't seen the need to go in here and spray these. I'm sure if they were going to be in some situation where they were going to get knocked around, you might want to. But anyway, so that's that. That's how quick it is. So as you can see, the raw ingredients of making this little leaf, she's going to have us just get it warm and really just bend it a little bit over a couple of these just to make it, you know how a leaf kind of bends. That's all. So it's not going to be wrinkled all the way up or anything. It's going to be pretty flat. But you know, you could make it wave in and out with this kind of thing easy. You know, you could just put it on there and let it even out, or go all the way to the end and bend. I mean, you know, this is really a cool little set. Okay, there's that. Now, so that's the kit. I think it's a really, if you want to learn how to do a little piece of jewelry, you want to give a little gift and learn something yourself about how to do it, this is a great little kit for that. The little findings are very nice. They're stainless steel, so that's super nice. And I just think it's well worth the money. If nothing else, just for me, it was well worth it just to see how the parts look apart, see the size pattern she created with her shrink material. Each shrink material is a little different in terms of how much it shrinks up, so it's always good to do a little example of something first so that you can figure that out. It's real simple to do that. Okay, let me get all this in here out of the way so I don't lose a piece and then can't finish the project myself. Okay, so there's that. But we're going to do something bigger, and we're going to work with something a little bigger just because I want to, you know. And I want to show you how she sends you, and I bought extras, she sends you these little practice sheets of different kinds that have these little flowers you pop out, and then you can make, and some are big and some are small, so that you can really practice and learn to make bigger things. Like all of this came as a sample. It was just a sample of stuff. Not done. I had to shrink it myself. Several of the little domed things were samples. You know, I think this one was, and I think this one was. But there was more than that. There was a lot. And so that was just really nice to be able to play with those and then try it out on her product. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was well worth it. Okay, that said, now I want to show you some really fun ones that I have purchased and also have made. So this fish, I purchased this, well, my husband actually purchased this fish and this set of earrings at an art show. And you can see how very simple. This is complicated, but not so complicated it would be impossible. And you could quite easily leave something like those fish out and just do scale patterns or something fun. But you can see how simple that shape is. And then these earrings go with it, and they're also little sheep. They're also little fish. And the same thing. They're just, you know, with little dangles on them. So they're just lovely. I really like, I wear this a lot in the summertime, especially. And then I wanted to make something. I wanted to make a pin for myself. I loved this rubber cottage elephant. I just think it is the cutest, most exuberant little creature. It is on ice skates, and if you can, I hope you can see that. It's on ice skates. And so I just love that so much and thought it was just so happy that I had to have it. I used the stamp for different things, but I also wanted to make myself a pin because I love that phrase, dance like no one's watching. I just love that. And I thought that was apropos with this little guy. And so what I did was I stamped this on paper. I expanded the paper and the picture, and then to about, I had measured how much it would shrink, you know, the percentage, and I enlarged that percentage. And that's easy to do. It sounds, I'm not a math person, as you know, no math brain. So if I can do it, you can do it. But I got that done, and then I just put this underneath a clear sheet of the shrink material and outlined it. I just drew an outline on it, and with a pen, because I didn't want all of this shading, which is lovely when you stamp it, but I didn't want all of that on this pen. That would have been too much busyness for this. And then I wanted it to be a girl dancing, and so I made her this little silly tutu. I just drew that on and then cut out the outer edge of everything. Then I colored the plastic. I shrank it down with this kind of heat model, and then I painted the back with, in this case, I think I painted it with a matte medium. I'm not sure. No, it's shiny, so not a matte medium. It must have just been some kind of white medium that would stick to plastic. It's been a while since I did it. And then just glued on a finding. This came through because I was trying to measure something, and I wanted to be able to see it on this side whenever I did the drawing. So that was all done with colored pencil, and easy peasy, just the easiest thing in the world to do. Now, you couldn't sell something like this because you did it with this, and even though it's in a different medium and it's changed, this is substantially still recognizable as her elephant. So I'm not advocating that you do this kind of thing and then try to sell it, unless they give you a particular right to do that. But for your own usage, you certainly could. And I put it up here so I could blur it. It wears beautifully. It's so fun. And you can see the difference in the size. This is the stamp itself. And so you can see that it's about, I think about 20% was about the difference that I had to go up. Okay, so there's that one. Fun, fun, fun. So many fun things. Okay, let me get this. I just realized that little plastic. Okay, just a second. I'm coming back. I haven't left you. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Okie dokie. Now, I'm going to show you some more little things real quick, and then I promise I'll stop showing this kind of stuff and actually do something with you. This idea came from a book called Shrink, Shrank, Shrunk. And you can see the little umbrella. Also, let's see, where are they? I had, I don't know where I put them. I had some other, oh, here we go. I had a little teapot and a little cup that I made. Oh, here we go, duh. These were made out of that same book, as well as I did one that was a milk and a little kitty. They came out very well. So you can do the Shrink, Shrank, Shrunk has patterns in them. You can still find this. It's available online in a lot of places. Let's do something fun. And what I want to do, I want to show you, let me get a piece of this plastic out. I'm not going to use the ones that she has sent me. I'm going to use from this Rough and Ready creative pack that I got on, I got this on Amazon, of course, Shrinky-Dink's creator, and I find that almost all of them are being sold by third-party dealers, so I don't know if the company is still in business or not. I just haven't looked that up, but there's still evidently plenty of it out there. so there's nothing to be concerned about in terms of getting plenty of things for yourself. So let's do something fun. I think I've said before that I took Karen Elaine's class. It's on watercolor, kind of watercolor joy. And this little class just teaches you how to doodle and then use watercolor and different things to do some journaling cards and things like that. It's to be used in any sort of multimedia that you want to use it in. And I just thought it would be really fun to use it for something like this, to make it another pen, for example. So I'm going to let me take a pencil, and if I can find it, I'll just do a pen. It doesn't make any difference. But I'm just essentially going to do this again. You know, you can do this with a brush, is why it gets so free. But essentially all we're going to do is we're going to do a little shape like this. And then we're just going to do this little raggedy tail. That is not going to work well in the Shrinky-Dinks. They're going to all want to fold over each other. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this silly little guy like this. And he's going to be looking up, and he's going to be talking. He's going to be singing his little heart out, okay? And again, these don't work out so well sometimes, okay? These little jaggedy things. So to make that a little better, I think what I'll do is give him a hat. So I'm just gonna do this. Now, when I draw this, you'll see what I mean. Okay, and I'm gonna do that kind of big so that it shrinks down. And then for his little feet, well, we're gonna draw his little wing. And then I'm gonna put his little feet right here. And I'm going to make them, let's see. Let's just do that. You'll see how I do all this later. This is just for silly. Okay, his feet, if I do them like this, and I go like that, and if I go like this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to cut around that, okay? Because end up seeing that through the whole thing, okay? And this is where it gets sometimes a little tricky. You don't want a lot of sharp edges or it is a bear to cut around. And I'm cutting right outside my edges because I don't want to cut right on that line and not be able to erase it. Now you see I didn't measure this. I don't know if this is going to be, I'm going to cut at an angle because I don't want to try to turn too sharp or it will not work. I want to come back at it from this direction. Okay, now I'm going to go way out on this guy, but I don't want that quite that big. Put that all around. And this is one where we're definitely going to want to use a block to end up with a flat bird. And turn your paper, don't turn your scissors. Turn your shrink material, because trying to turn your scissors is going to result in a break in the plastic. So turn your scissors, turn your plastic, don't turn your scissors. Okay, so I'm going to go straight. And see here, I'm not going to try to turn around and go back up. I'm going to come back down. So just keep planning that way and you'll save yourself some unnecessary breakage. And sometimes it kind of heals where you can't tell, and other times it causes it to break. So you want to do both. Okay? You want to avoid both. Okay, so now that gives us this. And Now, what I want to do here is I want to decide, do I want to do a black ink all around him, or do I want to erase it, put it back over my cover, and then color that way? And I do believe that is what I'm going to do here. Do the fun part. The fun part. Oh, yes. I like the fun part. You want to be sure you get all this little rubber stuff off, because it actually will melt on your heat gun with your heat gun. So you do not want any stickies. Okay, so now I'm just going to put him back. You'll have to just ignore all my scribbles. And then we're going to go after this and do it with colored pencils. And I'm going to use that. I'm going to make him a bright blue hat. I'm going to make him a light blue bird. An aqua. I'm going to make him an aqua bird. Very light colored. He'd be awfully cute in gray as well. So we'll just see. But I like the blue hat, the yellow feet. Okay, and then I'll do some lines. And the lines, the lines in this case, I think I'm going to do first. So because I do want them to kind of stand out. So my first thing I'm going to do is, let's see what I can do it with. I don't want to do it with the marker because it does smear, and I want this to be pretty clean. So I think what I'll do is I'll just use a black, and I'm just going to go around this little part, and then all of that. Oh, it's blue. Oh, that'll be fine. Okay, so that's his little hat, and let's do the muffy part up here in white. And let's do this part. Now it's just like a coloring book, but you can get fancier if you want. You know, you can make it darker in the edges. It'll be subtle, but you can make it like a little darker right through there, so that it looks like that's where the crease is, and then make it a little lighter there. That will give it some dimension. And then this direction, I'm going to actually go and draw these little dark lines where the knit would be. And then I'm just going to very lightly color in. And I'm going to color this one more time, right there, right there. Okay? All right. The nice thing if you use pastels is that you can actually rub them with your fingers and make them really nice, really gentle looking, light and airy. And that's okay too. Okay, now this will be much more intense when it shrinks down. So I'm just going to get this. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Let's just make sure. Okay. That looks pretty good. Now, what I want to do from here is I am going to take that black wherever I can find it. I know it's here. Got a dark brown at least. Is that black? Oh, that's black. Now, I'm going to go around here. I'm going to go around here. And right around there. Okay? And now I'm going to go down here. Just so we can make that definition. I'm going to go here. Make a little definition there. It's really fun. Now I'm also going to do some lines. I'm going to do some lines on him. So I'm going to do just some little featheries. I'm going to do some little featheries here. Okay, and now I feel like I can just do it off of that. And I've got to do this little eye. Okay, and I want to make my yellow go all the way to the end here. You see where, okay. And I'm going to take this to the end. That's all going to shrink down so small. Okay, kid, I think that's going to work. I think that's going to work. Let's see. If it doesn't, it'll be another fail. And fails are good because fails teach us. Right? Right. Okay. So, first thing we got to do is we got to cut a hole in this little thing so we can hang it. And I need to get my crocodile, which is right here. And I don't think I want to use the big one, but maybe I do. Yeah, let's try the big one. Okay. Oh, I got something stuck in there. Let me get it out. There we go. And now we'll just do this like this. Okay. And now we do our closing. And I'm going to do this to make sure we see where that little bit comes. Okay. All right. Hope that makes sense. Okay, here we go. This is part is fun. Where is my board? Because I'm going to need that. I'm not sure. I was just thinking for a minute, do I want to be able to hang some things off of him? But I think not. I think not. I think not. Let's just use this. And okay, now in this case, I definitely want to put him up on a little heat pad because he will stick to that paper lickety-split. Okay, and let's get her going. He's going to fold up all over the place. That's normal, but hopefully he will come unwound. Maybe not, but maybe. Going back behind it will help, but some of this just has to be. Don't panic yet. At some point you might have panic, but right now you don't. Well, I think that's going to stick. I don't want it to stick. Come out of there. Ow. Don't do that. I've got to get you undone. Oh, you will not work. And this is going to take some quick working to get that undone. Okay. go. There we go. You cannot curl that. There we go. You have to be careful not to get too close or it will actually scorch it, which you don't want. And you can see that it's really wanting to stick to this mat even, but it won't. I've got a little divot there. I do not see it doing anything else. Okay. I think I can stick you down here now. Okay. Okie doke. So there's our little guy. And he's got his little hole right there. I'm not 100% happy with him. I think his colors are weird. He will be fine though in a junk journal. He will be fine to stick off in a corner of something. And I might even put a little gold, rub-on gold around his, or silver around his little belly and feet or something. But he'll be fine, okay? So I'm not in the least bit concerned about this in terms of the way he's gonna look, okay? He's gonna be just fine. Now, what I want to show you next, and if it turns out way better than the other one, then I'm probably going to not show you the other one. I know. It's just enough to do what I want to do, though. Okay. All right. Who knows how this will turn out? This will be the last, and then I'm going to have to edit this thing probably as long as it took me to make it. So, but I'll try not to make it miserable for you. If anybody's left watching at this point. I think I would actually probably, see that bit of divot. I think I would actually put some finish on it just because it is so matte on the back that it's kind of distracting. So. Yeah, and that would cover that little divot up just fine. Yeah. I like the brighter colors better in some ways. I just think these would be really fun on tassels or hanging down on a bookmark. These aren't what I would call jewelry quality because they're just, someone would have to really be staring at you to get it. But I think that it would be really pretty, you know, on bookmarks and things like that. This little guy is still not flattened. Okay. Okay, kids. I didn't demonstrate how to do these for you because I don't know if you've got the molds, and that's no fun if you're sitting there watching somebody and you don't have the molds or you don't plan to get the molds, and so that was my reasoning on that. But I did want you to see that there's just a lot of fun, silly things you can do with these. You can make jewelry, and you can also make little necklaces and all kinds of charming little things, but the earrings are probably the ones I think of the most, or pins. So it's just, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will pare it down seriously or turn it into 2, but I think I'll just pare it down. But I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you try working with shrink and dink material again. It's one of those things that it can grow on you a little bit and be fun, and you can create things not only with yourself but with friends. If you all bring along a heat gun, and you can share your markers and just sit and make yourself some really pretty little jewelry pieces, bookmarks, all kinds of fun things. So I hope you enjoy that, and I hope that you will just subscribe, like, and share, and have a great day. And I'm so glad to be back again. It took me a while to get going. That's for another video to explain. But have a great day. Bye.